Hey guys, how's it going? This is going to be a video on installing a new shift boot and shift knob in my 1996 Honda Accord. So, it just came in the mail the other day. I'm going to give it a shot and see what I can do. Most of the videos that are out there on installing shift boot and shift knobs, I feel like people don't know at all what they're doing. And this is the only modification they're doing to their car. And it's a pretty amateur video, so hopefully I can put together something nice for you guys that gives you a good demonstration on how to do it without breaking anything, plastic clips and such, because people are not too gentle. But if you have the right tools and you're patient, then you can do this job well and have it look good. So we're gonna get started here. Right here is the stuff that I got. I got a new shift boot right here. And here's the knob. It's a billet knob. I think the legit ones, this is like for a Civic Si. I think the legit ones are like 40 bucks, but this is one from China for like $13. And it's actually pretty nice. It's very heavy. So I'm excited about how it's gonna look with the red stitching and the red letters. So yeah, let's get going on this. So we're inside the car, and I've seen in a couple of videos people have problems with this. I actually did. I took this whole setup apart and I ended up spinning the shift knob off with the boot attached and with the boot attached to this plastic. So I was like spinning this whole plastic thing around in the car. It was not good. So you can see when you spin this, it turns the boot. So apparently this right here is just clipped, and if you pull down pretty hard, it snaps right off like that. So then you're free to unspin this right here. So if you're just doing a shift knob change, which I probably wouldn't recommend because this factory shift boot has like a weird bezel here that kind of only meshes up with this shift knob. So it would probably look pretty funny if you tried to slap that other knob on there, a new knob. So we're gonna obviously change the boot out, but yeah, that's how you would take the shift knob right off. Pretty easy. But now, in order to take this boot off, we're gonna have to take this plastic piece off all the way because it's like stapled on the other side here. So in order to take that off, we got to do a few things. This has to come out. You can pull down on this, on the top piece, and this just comes right out. And then cigarette lighter we'll take out. This panel has to come out, and in order for that to come out, this dash section actually has to come out, or the center console section rather. So right in here, this piece has to come out because there's two screws for this plastic piece right here underneath this. So I'll show you guys where the screws are for this center section of center console here, and then we'll get to the next step. So your screws are going to be right in here. You can see down by where the seatbelt is. This screw right there, that's got to come out. Maybe a little difficult. I'm going to try to slide the seat forward. If not, I'll just get like a small stubby screwdriver in there. In addition to that screw, you've got inside of here this panel which flips up. Once you flip this panel up, you can see that there's two screws right here and here. And there's also another screw on the other side where the seatbelt is, and I think that's going to be it. Maybe another screw back here. I'll put you guys upside down. Nope, I don't see anything, so I'm going to take all those screws out, and this whole center console section should slide back enough for me to get to those two screws down there. Alright, so now you can see those screws I was talking about. You got one right down here, it's a little dark, and another one right over here. So I'm going to take those out, and I think I may have to pull my head unit out just so that this comes out, but we'll see. And the rest of this plastic piece here pops out with some plastic clips, or there's metal clips that go into plastic, but you got to be careful and apply even pressure so you don't crack any of your panels here, especially on an older car like this. It's baked in the sun, the panels can get brittle. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so I've removed these two screws down here, and I already removed this panel on mine when I did some other work to the car when I cleaned it. But this panel just kind of pops up and you can grab it from down here and just pop this up. And then once you get to here, don't just keep yanking on this. Invest in some plastic trim tools. Don't use a screwdriver because you'll end up with stuff like this, little scratches here. I don't know if you can see these, but you know, you're gonna end up scratching your interior, and that's like the difference that separates the pros from the amateurs is little things like this. And you can get a set of these on Amazon for like $7. So if you're gonna take plastic things apart, just invest in some of these, and you know, your job will be much easier and you'll have a much nicer result. So if you just get in here, just pry up like this, you know, and you should be able to remove these plastic clips that are in here, just like that. Come on the other side. The clips are up top, so you want to try to get as close to the top as you can. So we've got that out, and if you can just fish it through this center console down here, just pop the plastic out. Should lift up enough like this. And there's a few connections in here we're gonna have to undo. So you've got your hazard lights here, and there's just a clip in here. Right on the bottom, there's a little squeeze connector. If you squeeze it and wiggle back and forth, that'll unplug. And then your clock, there's a little connector on the side towards the driver's side. That'll come off as well. And then you also have a cigarette lighter connection down here. You're gonna be careful with this. You do have a live wire here potentially, but I believe it's only live when the car is on. So if you do unplug it and you key the car on, just make sure that that wire does not touch anything. But I'm going to unplug this ground here, and there's also a couple of LEDs in here. One in the ashtray, and I think another one for the cigarette lighter. And then once you get all those out, this piece should come right out. And now that gives us access to the underside, where you can see here this old shift boot is stapled in here. So we're going to take this to the bench, take out these two screws here, the one here, one there, and then also these two screws down here, and then this whole assembly should separate from this, and then we'll be ready for the next step. I just realized this, but inside here you can see there's a connector right here, and it looks like this connector unplugs, and then you don't have to worry about undoing any of those connections on the back of your cigarette lighter. So in the future I would recommend doing that, because way easier than unplugging all those connections and LEDs. But yeah, either way it works. So do whatever makes you happy. So we've got our shift boot on the bench here, and I think that our best bet is going to be to cut these staples that hold the boot in. So if I cut them, I should be able to use these pliers to pull the staples out, because I want to preserve the plastic piece that the boot connects to. Therefore I can reuse it. So yeah, it looks like that'll work for us if we just pull all the staples out just like that. This is definitely going to take a while. There's quite a few staples, but it's worth it to be patient. So I'm going to do this and then move on to trying to attach the new one. probably tell by the end of that video there, I sort of developed a technique. Still have one more staple left, but basically I'm just clipping the bottom right towards the outside, and you want to watch out because these staples will go flying. Once you clip both of those ends off like that, it allows you to come up top here and use like a small screwdriver to stick in under the staple, pry it up, and then you can just use a pair of pliers to roll the staple up. And now we're completely removed here. So I'm just gonna make note that this is the front right here and this is the back when I take this off. So now I know when I put the new one on, I know exactly how it's gonna go. So this is probably gonna be tough because this is brand new. And it doesn't necessarily want to stretch the same way as the other one, but we're gonna do the best that we can here to try to, you know, make this conform. And then I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to staple it or whether I'm going to try to glue it or use adhesive spray or something like that. But I think we can probably staple it. But yeah, I'm gonna see what I got here and see how I can make this thing fit. So you can probably see right here I got one staple in. What I did was I put the cover over these guys, the shift boot, right over these guys, to hold it in place. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go, but this is really totally up to you. You got to remember that this piece is going to fit inside of that trim ring, like probably up to about here. So you're not going to see anything past like this section right here. So however you decide to affix it is up to you. So I decided to use staples. I have a stapler here. It's like a heavy duty stapler. So what I am going to do is follow this thing around and affix it where I think is a good spot. This is kind of all up to you, but yeah, you want to make sure that everything's lined up correctly so that you see what you want to see once you do get it in the car. So you want to make sure that you have everything set up correctly, and so I like the area that that's in right now. So what I ended up doing was holding this down, and this sort of has to be down on a piece of wood or something like that. So I think I'm actually going to grab this 2x4 right here. This should help me. Yeah, so if I put this edge down here and then I put the stapler right here, I should be able to just send a staple in, and then you know, you kind of got to pry it out of where it is. But once your staple's in here, you got your two ends sticking out, and then you can just kind of bend these down with a pair of needle nose pliers or something like that. Just tweak the end down and then squeeze it from the other side. And then you should have a nice firm hold there. So I'm going to do that with this other staple here. And I'm going to go around and do the whole thing. Just setting it up where I see fit and where I like the tightness of the whole thing, and then I'll get back to you guys. So after about 20 minutes, I'm all finished with this. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So yeah, this is gonna sit down in here like this, just like the other one kind of has the way that it sits here. This one will get like that eventually once it gets installed, but yeah, I like it. I don't think it's too wrinkled. I mean, I had a little bit of extra, so I put it right in the back. So I'm hoping that you don't even see that once it's all installed in the car. So we're gonna take it over to that plastic trim piece, reinstall it with those 4 screws, and then we should be ready. So I wanted to make a note of this nut right here that I put on. This came with the shift knob. So the purpose of this is so that when you put your boot on here, this piece right here kind of fits into this nut so that this can't slide down. So you put this over this nut here, and then you tighten down the knob over this, and it pinches this nut and this, and so that your shift knob won't be sliding up and down. So I got that on, and I'm basically just going to put this whole thing back together the same way I took it apart, and yeah, and then we'll be ready to screw the shift knob on, and this job will be just about done after we put the center console in. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll show you guys how it looks. So the shift knob and boot are both completely installed. I think it looks awesome. I really enjoy it. I think it looks great. Yeah, the boot fits really nicely. Decent quality, just cheap eBay stuff, but you know, looks good to me. Should last a while. And the shift knob I think is from a Civic Si. But I got this one for 13 bucks, so nice and cheap from China, but it's gonna do the job. Can't wait to take it for a spin and see how the shifter feels. It's definitely gonna feel different than this old clunker down there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate the view, and hopefully this helps you out. Stay tuned and subscribe for more stuff like this and more complicated stuff. Maybe doing a head gasket on this car pretty soon, because I do think that I have some sort of oil that's pushing itself into my cooling system. So my coolant jug is sort of getting low, and I fill it up and then it gets low again, and I don't believe I'm leaking coolant, so that means I'm burning it. And if you're burning coolant, you probably have a head gasket issue, and to top it off, I have oil in the coolant, so therefore the oil is coming out of the oil jackets in the head and the block intersection area where the head gasket is, and that oil is getting into my coolant, and I'm probably also burning some of it, and I do think it's leaking externally from the motor. So I'm gonna make sure that that's my issue before I tear the head off of the engine, but I do think that that's gonna be a problem. So what I'm gonna end up doing is cleaning the whole engine block where all the oil is grimed on there right now, and then after I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of oil dye in it, and then I'll be able to look with a UV light and see what's the new oil that's leaking out, what's a current leak and what's an old leak and stuff like that. So if it does happen to be the head gasket, time to take the head off, and we'll put a new head gasket in there, maybe some upgraded head studs so that we can you know, hold a little bit of boost. But yeah, I'll let you guys know and keep you updated on what goes on with this thing. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.